We are here once again, whether you like it or not. The CBC podcast is back. We are going to talk about a whole lot of DC because we got the Slate reveal. On top of this, of course, members can stay tuned for an exclusive topic there. We're going to talk about some conflicting things that have been mentioned. But first, we got to get the important things out of the way. Last week, Ricardo hosted the show, and this week we decided he did so bad, we kicked him off permanently. So,
I don't know who this we is.
Me.
The upside down me.
Yeah. So, yes, Ricardo, may he Poochie rest in peace on his way to wherever he's going to be in the future.
But don't listen to Army's lies. It's all because of the Avatar slander.
It's true. I heard it.
Not that it's slander because it's factual. But
Ricardo's going. He started it. He's the one taking the fall here. So, yeah.
This is a dictatorship.
I'm running this like it's some sort of northern province of somewhere close to China. I'm not stating where because the political demonetization.
Kim Jong armor. There you go.
Oh no. But yeah, Ricardo's in the gym and he was just like, I don't want to talk about DC. That's not my brand. So he's off out there fighting through the streets of New York to get to the gym. He'll probably be on next podcast, I assume. But send him your best regards in regards to New York in general. So yeah, there you go.
Best regards.
Oof.
It worked, damn it.
It's it's one of those shows, huh?
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, as always, I guess not as always. This week, I am your host, Armin, and I am joined by Mitch.
Hey, single now. It's not the same time. Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all the places on the 692 link tree. I think it's 692 link tree. I haven't looked at it in a while.
It's somewhere.
But yeah, in there.
Also, finding his way here to the show is Tristan.
Yep, same deal with the link tree. Hopefully, you can catch all the socials there. And the black man can't have nothing in James Gunn's DCU.
Oh damn! You actually said it. Wow.
Well, don't worry. There's something we're gonna talk about that definitely will have it, but it's gonna be a bit of a ways off. Yeah. So it's a lot of Slate talk. I know everybody wants to talk about it anyway, so we're gonna go. I kind of broke this up into like subtopics so we can keep it in order, so we're not jumping all over the place. So I'll break down one by one once we get going into the show, and hopefully you guys enjoy our project by project discussion. So with nothing else here, we're just gonna get right in. Starting things off, we know that the first chapter, which is smart to not call it phases because you don't want to be compared to Marvel any more than you're already gonna be.
I mean, let's be honest. They're calling it Chapter 1 because they can't use phase.
Exactly. Yeah. But still, it's smart though. Like I like it. It's different enough.
It keeps it nice and neat, doesn't it? It gives you a nice chronological order for everything.
Yeah, exactly. So
and that way, they're calling it chapters. They can make it sound, adult and more important than phases.
True.
Like Book of Boba Fett, you had to call each one a chapter.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
More highbrow.
And again, I like the title. It's Gods and Monsters. It's a good naming scheme because of everything we're going to talk about here. So I guess the first project that we've kind of known for a while, so we're going to talk about it first, that's Superman Legacy. This is going to be our first live action project. And
yeah, because we got Creature Commandos first.
Yeah, it's really weird. I don't know how you want to do this because of what DC actually wants to do, which is kind of ambitious, but it can fall flat on its face if they don't land it.
Yeah.
For people who don't know or who didn't really listen to what Gunn wants to do, is that they are going to kind of try to weave everything into the DCU. That means live action movies, TV, animation, and video games. So that means the actors that play the character in the movies will also potentially voice the character in animation or a video game and vice versa. But the way I'm like being like worried about this is because not every actor can voice act, and not every voice actor can act. So
I say, if What If has taught us anything, it's that
Yeah.
not every actor can voice act.
yeah,
Oh,
yes, that's why I'm kind of worried with this ambitious goal that they're trying to do, and then with also with what Gunn said is that you're not going to get, like, for the example, since we're talking about Superman Legacy here, is that you're not gonna get like a Superman movie like right, or a Superman video game like right after the Superman movie.
Right.
It might be like 2 or 3 years down the line, and that the Superman video game could potentially bridge the gap between Superman and Supergirl.
Right. And also they did confirm like the characters in Creature Commandos, for example, because that's part of what like the first part of discussion we're having here. They're animated. Like one of them is Weasel, and he's gonna appear in more live action. They're gonna go back and forth. So if you see Superman show up in Creature Commandos, it's gonna be the same voice actor voicing them as it is the live action version. So like their ambitious is good. Like the ambition is there, it's good. I like it. I like how ambitious they are. But there is a degree of, we've seen Marvel Studios, and look, Marvel Studios is the biggest brand out there, and people couldn't be bothered to turn in to What If, even when they were pitching it as, "Ooh, this is important." Trust me, like there's a little bit of ambition here that I appreciate. That still makes me worried, though, right? Like it's a lot. It is a lot to take on. So
yeah. I mean, my only real concern is the games, because he said, he announced animation and live action stuff. He said they're going to do video games, but there was no video game. That's going to be like what, at least 5 years out?
I mean, video games at least 3 years of development is needed, like 4 to 5 optimally. Yeah.
I just feel like the whole video game bit's a marketing ploy.
You know what?
So, look, buy this game because it ties into the movies. Like, it clearly doesn't. You're not. Yeah. No one's going to pay attention to it. You haven't got to play it or even pay it.
It honestly straight up reminds me of the Amazing Spider-Man video game where they
100%. Yeah.
Well, it's with that. It's weird because like now you add potentially like another cook in the kitchen, because now the development team has to abide by the rules that the writers from the TV show.
And that's the problem, right? Yeah. Games take so long to develop. The story. If they do it anything like how Marvel does it, where the script's like fluid and you can change it on the fly, it's impossible to make a game.
I mean,
you just can't do it.
We all play video games. I am friends with quite a few developers who work for some of the big studios. The one thing I know is the first thing you lock in is the idea, the story, and then you start building from the ground up how you're going to go in that direction. So if, let's say, I don't know, the Superman game is coming 3 years after the film in 2025, you're going to have to start on that game next year and lock in the story, and who knows what could change by then. So it is a little bit weird. Again, I appreciate it, but it is risky. It is bold.
Yeah, like I said earlier, if they get the best actors, it's not to say that he's going to be a good voice actor. So you'll have the effect of, if anyone's played Iron Man, the movie, the video game.
We haven't got to talk about that.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
You can see what happens there when they got Robert Downey Jr. Voice acting, and
it's a bit rough.
Yeah, that was that's a repressed memory, that one, or it was.
But so we know Superman Legacy obviously coming out first for live action in July of 25.
So it's the official start.
It is, yeah.
I don't get why you announce Creature Commandos and then say this is the first one. It's like, but that's the first one.
Well, it's weird how he announced it, because he said a first official start, but it seems like Creature Commandos will come out first because it's like already in production. While Superman, he's still working on the script.
It's so obvious that Creature Commandos is something that's been in development for a bit now, and they're just kind of carrying it in, being like, shove this in there, just make it fit.
We knew Gunn had a couple of projects unannounced, right? Mm-hmm. Before he took over, so I bet it was part of that.
100%. Which again,
especially with the Weasel in there, it's like that's part of it.
Yeah, and so between Superman Legacy and Creature Commandos, that's cool, live action, animated. The big other one I want to toss into this part of conversation is the other big pillar, and that's announcing a new Batman film, but it's Brave and the Bold, and it's
Hmm.
Batman and Damian Wayne. Now,
Massive W.
this
Big
is
dub.
yeah, I love this.
Nah,
I
it's,
love this
it's
idea.
it's only a W if I can get that scene from the animated movie where you see Nightwing just manhandle him.
No one watches those animated movies. It's fine.
I mean, like 7 people do.
And
So,
all 7 people are gonna like dox me now. Just like, oh, I'm sorry.
the thing with this one is though, and I've seen this brought up. So you're getting us a Superman to the
Mhm.
new universe who's going to be very young, and this is kind of like a couple years into his career. Batman, we're going in a complete opposite direction where he's already had the entire Bat family, a whole lot of history, and he's even got his son there. Like that's a
Well, this is the thing, right? Is it
It's
is this a case of they're doing Ben Affleck again, where he's had the history and there's been robbers before, or are they just starting off with Damian Wayne as the first one?
that would be insane. That'd kind of be interesting. Like, I mean,
Because we've had Dick Grayson, not
I mean,
a lot of
it's-
times, but a few times, and let's if you're going to do something different, start with Damian Wayne.
it'd be kind of weird because part of what like with the character arc with Damian Wayne is like coming to terms with his own version of Robin. If you don't have that, then you can't go that way with this character arc.
also, just to kind of bring up a timetable, for example, right? Let's say Batman or Bruce goes and trains with Raish. Let's say he's 20 tops, right? Damien's at least got to be, what, 12, 15 to don the Robin suit. So we're
Yeah.
definitely jumping into mid 30s here. Like, it feels like it has that Ben Affleck effect. But since James Gunn confirmed, we're not dropping Superman into this universe and going, he's the first. He's like, no, we drop Superman in here. The world has existed. Superheroes are
Yeah,
abundant.
yeah.
Like, I kind of get what they're doing. So there's this hole we can fill in the gap with Batman and the story and the Bat family, which is my hope. But at the same time, I'm kind of like you. I'm like, it's interesting because I really like the Damian angle. But where does that leave the
Yeah.
rest of them? Like,
Well, they could completely pull the rug out from everyone. I don't know how they would keep it secret or even do it, but you'd be like, hey, yeah, this is Dick Grayson Batman. Bruce Wayne's over there just chilling. He's Bane broke his back and Dick's taken over.
Oh, that would be so cool. Man, that would be even more impressive if they could do that somehow. It's the good old Metal Gear 2 swerve where you think you're going to play
Yeah.
Snake and it's like, here's Raiden, enjoy. Ooh.
So it's like this is where you get the whole Robin, like how to be a good Robin arc for Damian in there, and then you've also
Yeah.
got you got Grace, and then he can become Nightwing afterwards and all that.
And the thing is, like, when I think about this Batman film, it makes sense why he said and why it was confirmed by Matt Reeves that they're working together. They're going to make sure that they're not telling or retreading any ground. So,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have Reeves Batman. He's young in his career. What are you going to do? Well, we got to go the opposite of that. So jump into the future and do. So, like, I like that they're at least communicating now. So we're not having the old DC effect that we've had for the last 20 years where it's like everybody's mashing up the same ideas because nobody's talking to
Yeah.
one another. At least there's an effort here. So,
It might even be a case of Reeves wants to use Grayson.
true.
So they're like, all right, well, we'll just use Damien for the first one then. And then that's the way it is. But, they've said that Elseworld, they're officially using that now. The Elseworld movies and projects will be very clearly labeled Elseworlds.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't tie into the core story, you're going to know about it. So with that, you could probably still do like him getting a Robin for the first time. You just make it slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
Because whoever does this Batman movie is not going to do the same as what Reeves does. It might have similar elements because obviously it's the Batman movie. You're not limited, but there's only a few things you can do. So,
I mean, this is
I'd
James
be-
Gunn.
I get-
Yeah.
so I get not wanting the confusion, and people could get confused with it, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
I'm still excited for it.
Same. Same. So we don't want to spend too much time on this because obviously it's still very early, but we're going to start finding out more about these in the next couple months, really, because Superman's going to have to get off the ground. So,
Yeah, because it's out in, what, 2 years?
yeah. And
Just over
DC
2
production
years.
time is typically a year and 7-8 months. So it's going to be right around the corner when we start hearing news.
But this
so.
is new flavor DC.
True. James Gunn knows how to operate the 1-year turnaround cycle. That is a thing. So I guess we'll find out and talk more about it.
Comic-Con, I bet you.
I mean, they could reveal more about these on Comic-Con, which honestly brings us into the next set of projects we're going to talk about here, which is, again, 3 in this part of the discussion. We're going to talk about Paradise Lost, Booster Gold, and Waller. So which one do you guys want to start with here?
Let's get Waller out.
All right.
Get Waller out of the way.
I-
This is a Peacemaker spin-off.
Yeah.
Viola Davis is
yeah,
getting that
it's-
bread. Cool.
Yeah, and that was weird how they're going to do it, but when you read onto it, Waller takes place between Peacemaker season 1 and season 2, so it bridges the gap on what's happened since then. Because I know Gunn probably did not want to throw Peacemaker in the trash, so he had to come up with a way to get him in the new DCU. Compared to clearly the first season was part of the Snyderverse.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know, I want to see it because it also said that some of the characters from Peacemaker are going to be regulars on the show as well. So,
Yeah.
As long as it's Vigilante, no one wants John Cena back. Like, just do Vigilante. Be totally fine.
What, you don't like the Eagle?
Eagly can stay. He's totally cool with me. Just don't have John Cena.
Just no.
That man can't act to save his life.
I mean, he does the same thing in pretty much everything, and that's his shtick. So
I'm gonna say he's literally just a white Dwayne Johnson.
yeah. But better.
Slightly smaller as well. He's,
So
Yeah, I mean, John Cena's better than The Rock. Give him that.
So I do want to
nah.
bring up this question though: is Waller? Because okay, this is the confusing part. We're rebooting New Superman, but Waller is a sequel to Peacemaker, which is a sequel to Suicide Squad.
Look, here's the thing. Gunn's been reading DC Comics and he's realized every reboot they've ever done isn't actually a reboot. So he's like, why even bother? Like, who cares? We'll get to a certain point. We'll say this Flash. We'll spoil that the Flash movie resets everything, which everyone knew anyway. Right?
And he did.
Yeah, it's
He's just like,
basically-
hey, this resets, but
It's basically
we're
he's
still
been
having
reading-
this, and this.
Yeah, it's like he's just been reading too much Crisis on Infinite Earths and Flashpoints, and he's like, we'll soft reboot it because doing the hard reboot and it's too tough.
Mm-hmm.
Go the easy way out.
Yeah, it's
Which, in fairness to him, he did always say that they're going to keep the stuff that worked and
yeah.
get rid of the stuff that didn't, which most of it didn't work. So
True.
no, I'm pretty certain there's always code for I'm going to keep my stuff because people liked that.
Yup.
This other stuff that can go. Yeah.
Well, okay, so after Waller, we finally, after, believe it or not, people, 21 years of trying to get this off the ground, Booster Gold is officially happening.
Yeah. This was.
Yeah.
I wonder if Booster Gold's going to be quite a key player in this first chapter.
100%.
So I can't imagine Gunn being like, yeah, this movie resets everything, but we're going to keep certain bits here. But then we're going to have a time travel guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if he just brings that element in and plays about and just muddles up the timeline a little bit,
I mean,
ready
that
to
is
get it.
100% Booster Gold shtick. So there's no way they don't do it, right? Like, that's your key.
Yeah, like in his attempt to be liked by people, he actually screws a ton up and gives us a good universe.
Yeah. I mean, it's meta commentary, so why not? It could go over real well, I guess. And I mean,
like Days of Future Past, but actually good.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm a fan of Booster Gold. I have been ever since I picked up those. It was the 52 comics, not the new 52, but like 52 when it went like week by week during like the early 2000s, and
Oh God, yeah.
they put a huge focus on Booster Gold. I started reading that. I was like, I actually really like this character. So if they can kind of bring that attitude and the cynicism that Booster Gold has, which I think James Gunn will, I think this will be something that's definitely.
Well, didn't they say they're basing it off not Tom King? Tom King's around. I know that they're doing at least one of these projects as Tom King's, but I can't remember.
I mean, whatever they do.
Or am I thinking of Adam
Booster Gold
Strange?
doesn't change a lot, so it's
no.
Yeah.
The only thing I want in this show is Ted Cord.
Oh, 100%. I mean,
we need Beetle.
The way James Gunn talked about the Blue Beetle movie makes me think that that's getting brought in, and they're just going to add Ted Cord and Reyes in there together and just be like, here you go. Yeah, that movie's also a part of it because we like it. So I think we'll get Ted Cord.
Because he was like, Aquaman 2, Shazam, Fury of the Gun, but Blue Beetle,
yeah.
Look at the boy. Look at him. Everyone likes this one. We're going to keep this boy's going places. And also, he's our Spider-Man, and we know it.
It's true, and also it's a cheaper production budget, so it makes a lot of sense to keep it around, and it'll already be established, a character that's very likable, so why not? The big one that sticks out to many people is we're getting the Wonder Woman reboot, Paradise Lost, but this is a Game of Thrones style show without Wonder Woman, complete prequel set on the Amazonian island.
Wow. I'm gonna be surprised at what origin they're gonna have for Diana.
Mm-hmm.
Either she's.
I got a feeling with Gunn they're gonna go for the clay.
Yeah.
I think you have to kind of go for the clay.
Well, because there's like 3 or 4. Like there's 2 versions to the clay one where it's just the god made her come to life, and the other one is that technically she is the daughter of Zeus. So
but didn't they make her the daughter of Zeus in what we already have?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like there's like two of them are from the clay one, and it's different. One is where it's all the gods, give her abilities by making her real, and another one is just Zeus, and then another one is Zeus. He needs to be on a watch list, but yeah.
Good old Zeus.
Oh, good old Zeus.
Put this man on the register.
This was the one that, to me, tells you all you need to know how they view Wonder Woman in the DCU, especially after what happened with Wonder Woman 84 and canceling Wonder Woman 3. Like, this right here it's clearly they're using the basis of the Amazon show that was in development for a while, and they're just going to repurpose that here, which, again, I think it works.
Well, it's a bit like Lanterns, right? I know it's skipping ahead, but they've completely trashed that show. And it's like, we're making a Green Lantern show, but it ain't Berlanti's one.
Right. And that's kind of the thing I like about this whole Wonder Woman thing. Like, give her a break. And also, I do want to bring this into the conversation. The Wonder Woman video game that was recently announced started production about less than a year ago at this point. I have a feeling that they could work that game into the new DCU.
Yeah.
Like, that's still so early on. You work that in.
It saves you having to do her origin again, right? Because you go, right, the prequel sets up her origin. The game is then her origin.
Exactly.
The first movie, Wonder Woman
ambitious.
3 or whatever, is this. Like, that's a cheeky way of doing it.
Yeah, because basically for people who's wait, where's their origin? You're gonna have to play a video game for that, or watch let's play on YouTube to see her origin play out.
Don't worry, they'll just recap it, and when her official movie or TV series or whatever comes out that's a sequel, they'll just put some of those game cutscenes in there.
Just splice in the cutscenes and PTEs in the film. Yeah. So why is there X and A on my screen? What's going on?
Which dialogue option did you choose? That'll determine how you watch the show.
That's not the outfit I had on. What's going on here?
So I forgot to disable the on-scene prompts during the cutscene. So
QTEs
weren't successful. She lost.
The game comes out broken and no one has a face, and they just can't fix it. So it's just the eyes and the mouth, like.
What? This isn't EA
No,
working
fine.
with the Frostbite engine on it. Come on. Oh,
I mean, who's making that Wonder Woman game?
isn't it Monolith?
Monolith, I think.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be using the Nemesis system from was it the Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Was that one sub series that they made?
Shadow.
Yeah, Shadow of Mordor.
That's it.
Yeah.
Shadow of Mordor. Those were the first one was great. The second one was so microtransaction filled that it bombed. So it's
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. But that's for that part of the discussion and what's coming in. I guess now we can kind of go on to our final breakdown of a couple projects that were announced, and this is going to include Lanterns, Swamp Thing, and Supergirl. So let's start with Lanterns. This has been in development. Our Green Lantern project has been in development ever since the bombed Ryan Reynolds one, and
10 years ago.
oh, crazy! It's crazy.
We've had an entire like saga for the MCU.
Yeah.
Near enough in that span.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of wild to think about, but we're finally going to get it. Obviously, they revealed some details. The key details are Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. It's a buddy cop type of series, and they're going to investigate something that happens on Earth that has implications on the entire first chapter, which will lead to the big blow-off, which clearly is teasing some sort of Justice League thing. So
I was going to say, I bet you it's Blackest Night.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
bet you
I
the
was
whole
gonna say-
Gods and
I was-
Monsters thing.
I was gonna make a whole bunch of Hal Jordan fans angry and say they're gonna go with the Parallax storyline. Well, yeah, I'm one mind of this because it's weird how they changed it from this is the third time it's changed. They went from an anthology series to a Jon Stewart centered story to now Jon Stewart is a co-protagonist in this because they have to have Hal Jordan in this.
You have to have Hal Jordan in it, right? It's Green Lantern. It's one of most people.
I know a
lot of people had Jon
Hal
Stewart
Jordan
and
had
all
his
this
chance.
stuff.
He had his chance back 10, 12
Yeah, but
years ago.
everyone always goes on about Hal. He's like the Green Lantern. Not to take away from Jon Stewart, because I know Jon Stewart is very much the people's Green Lantern.
I did some research on this, and 10 years ago, most people did not know that the Green Lantern, the casual scene, they didn't know that the Green Lantern wasn't black.
I mean, that's kind of true with The Flash as well, because many people just thought it was Wally because that's what they grew up with. They're like, who the hell?
I mean, in the 90s, people didn't know Peter Parker. It was all Ben Reilly.
That's... there was a whole...
Obviously not the same, because that's, like, white guy, but...
Yeah.
Because that's what it was. What I saw with the research is that there were so many people, because they assumed that Jon Stewart was at least the second Green Lantern when he wasn't, but that's what people thought, and it was eye opening for people who if you see things long enough, this is what you assumed, and that's what it was. That's the only thing I had with this quote unquote buddy cop feature, which is actually an HBO Max series first.
I think it's a perfect outlet, honestly, on HBO for this.
Yeah, especially if you're gonna go with like a True Detective vibe, like.
Yeah,
you need at least two of them, right, for that.
Yeah.
You needed like someone else.
Like I know they're going to be in the movies, but it's kind of weird because they're not going to be in space. From what they said, they're going to be primarily on Earth for the most part.
Saving money with the budget.
Yeah. If no one watches it,
oh man, this is gonna be kind of sad. Where like most of this, you're gonna see them suit up for like 2 episodes and then they're in casual clothes for most of it, and then they'll go back to suit up.
In that show, they're going to be like investigating what's going on. They're going to be like, "Hey, let's go talk to this alien Kryptonian that's here. Oh, here's your Superman cameo." Like, yeah, it's
that'll be at the end of the season.
So we need to go talk to these aliens that are hiding out on Earth. Why do you look human? We couldn't pay it. It was like we couldn't play.
Oh, my lantern's not charged. I need to go find this thing to charge it. That's why we can't wear the suit.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go. The literally is built into the whole character.
It is. It is though. I do want to talk about also in the same vein because we're talking about budgets and things.
Mhm.
The most out of all these announcements, this one shocked me the most. Swamp Thing is getting a film.
I mean, well, you forget that they gave him like a couple times to try. Do you remember the sci-fi series? That
Sci-fi don't even remember the sci-fi.
Oh, why? I literally forgot that existed. Like my brain just reset.
They tried, man. They tried multiple times to give him a series, and every time just something happens.
To be fair,
yeah, but now it looks like James Mangold's going to be doing this. Because he tweeted about Swamp Thing, like just he did the Scooper Tease thing, and it's just like,
to me, it's just like, you know, they saw, and then Gunn's like, they did Man Thing, we can do Swamp Thing.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, you got to see that, like the TV series they recently had, which went over budget because they didn't do their paperwork right. But they produced that thing, and Swamp Thing was stunning. Like the sets they built for that show were amazing looking, and it had this horror vibe. So if they can get this down to like, you know, $75 million budget, hard R-rated Swamp Thing, this thing will easily turn around like $250 million. So
yeah, I like it if they do go.
Is it a movie or is it a show?
Oh, it's a movie. Yeah, shockingly.
Oh, okay. That's brave.
So like, I want it to be the go with a horror theme, but not necessarily make Swamp Thing the actual monster, because he usually isn't. It's just that people perceive him to be the monster.
That's why you kind of put that spin on it, but you introduce some of the other things out there after him. You know, they can morph into crazy monsters as well, and just go with it.
So can we do that the more magical side, like the whole green and the red, and dive into that?
You 100% know that like Constantine is going to show up in this project, just to kind of tease more of the monsters. Like it's going to happen. I'm here to recruit you for that.
Get Poison Ivy in there as well.
Oh, maybe. Come on.
They're a thing.
Come on, get it done. Would be nice.
If we're not starting at 0 and we're starting at like 20, like why not just go crazy with what you can do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. It's true. But the other shocking project, and this will be the last one we talk about because it's the last one they announced, Supergirl World of Tomorrow.
It's not the last one they announced.
Well, I guess technically not, but it's certainly the one that's at the end of the list. Like,
yeah, Swamp Thing was the last one they announced.
Yeah.
I was more meaning you've missed out a very big one if this is the last one we're talking about.
Which one?
Oh,
The Authority.
I just remembered it.
Oh, crap, I did miss that. I guess let's toss the Authority in here.
Midnighter and Apollo.
Yeah, okay.
Nah, he's on there. Nah, we don't need them.
Yeah.
Does this mean Armin's homophobic? Is this what this means?
I forgot that was a DC Comics property. I'll be real with you.
It's exposed. Well, it's Wildstorm, isn't it?
That's exactly.
Yeah,
that's what my mind went to.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, all these big companies have bought out other smaller companies you can't remember.
I'll say that, to be fair, Swamp Thing was Vertigo.
Yeah, he was.
Oh yeah, my God, man! How did DC invent anything besides Batman?
No, they bought most of their competition out.
Oh, Superman, I suppose. No.
They bought his competition out too.
Yeah, that's true.
So, is the Authority, is it animated or is it live action? I can't remember.
I think it's live
action.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So this is their answer to The Boys, right?
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. So the interesting about DC is there's the heroes and the villains, and then there's the grey area. It's just like everything has a grey area, James Gunn. That's kind of the thing right now, is we play in the grey.
Yeah. It's like
I don't know why I sound like a guy from the 20s then. That just came out.
What's funny here is that Gunn even acknowledges that Wildstorm was a comic imprint that DC bought out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be interesting because I want to see how they take this, because if they're trying to make this to where you have the one side and the other side, but then there's the morally gray side as well in this world. I just hope people who are coming from the boys. Don't take this as, look, we're gonna get a bunch of jerks and
Yeah.
they're gonna be killing people and all this other stuff because we like the edgy stuff. And I'm like, there's more to that than just seeing blood fly everywhere.
Yeah. Now, the Authority is going to be kind of cool because, again, like you mentioned Midnighter, that's kind of it. Like, a lot of people are going to automatically look at that character and go, boy, this is different. So it's like, all right, I'll take what I can
They'll
get.
look at Midnight and Apollo and be like, it's woke. Why is it woke?
Oh, they will. They will.
Shut up.
They will. We know that.
Mhm.
Okay, so the Authority,
they're just what is it? They're just co-workers. They're just they're just seeing if they need to breathe. That's it.
So, okay, now we'll jump on to Supergirl. A bold new take on Supergirl, if I do say so myself.
Wasn't this? It was someone's one of the recent runs or something.
Very recent.
Yeah, this is based on Tom King's run.
Yeah,
that's the one. Yeah, I didn't want to say Tom King again because I couldn't remember.
It wasn't a ongoing. It was a limited series, but still.
Yeah. And they straight up said, we're like, oh, we're just kind of adapting this and doing a couple things. It's like, all right, cool. Like that.
And I assume it's going to be What's Her Face from Flash, like the movie.
Yeah,
they didn't say they didn't talk about any of the actors or actresses, and it's like, is this going to be the same one, or is she a one and done? Like, I kind of hope it is her.
It's from what Gunn said, which is very confusing, is that they'll be taking pieces from, I guess, other media. There are other characters that have been played by actors, and if they can get them, then yeah, sure. If not, then they're going to be new characters or new actors playing that role. So we don't know.
Yeah. It's.
I hope it is, because it'd be a waste if it's not.
Exactly, because you've got some of that groundwork already there. You're setting up. So
this whole premise is kind of cool. They had Supergirl is gonna be jaded while trying to interact with her cousin Clark, who is the complete opposite to where he is more empathetic to the situation than her.
So she's going to be more like Snyder's Superman, huh?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
I mean,
like how Clark will find the good in people. I guess Kara will technically see the worst in people because of the situation that she was in, where she was on a chunk of Krypton and watching people pass away and possibly fight over whatever they had left to survive.
Yeah. I mean,
that's the implication I got, right? Because it sounded very alien, like Ripley Alien, that little blurb that he gave out, which I'm all here for. I think that sounds fantastic.
I think it's a good, because like, if you're just getting a Superman movie, oh, he's on Earth, look at him, and then you get the same thing with Supergirl, you go, well, it's just the same thing. You're just swapping genders. But at least this way, they're like, it's kind of like Mad Max in space on this desolate rock floating through. Okay. Like, you got me interested in a different concept, so it's interesting to see how.
I say this one stood out to me the most, because it's like, that's a direction to go in. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, very much so. So, I mean, this is the furthest one out by the sounds of it. A lot of people are saying this probably ain't hitting till like 2027. So, yeah, it's gonna be a.
Yeah, to be fair, 4 years that'll fly by.
It's true, it will.
That'll go by.
That is fact. I mean, we're coming up on like what, 3 or 4 year anniversary on Infinity War, or is it 5 years? I can't remember.
Infinity War is 2018.
So 5 years, huh?
So it's 6, isn't it?
I don't know. What year
2013?
is it?
18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yeah, it's the 6th year.
Hey, don't worry. It's like these past 6 years have been a blur, so don't worry. Don't talk about anything.
It's true. So, I mean,
so I remember, because Endgame came out 2019, which was just before the pandemic hit.
Yeah. It's been a while time.
So it's been 4 years since Endgame. God.
Yeah.
Damn.
Which, at this point, there's plenty of content coming. Obviously, we just talked about a bunch of it, so hopefully people remain excited.
Well, he did make. There was, if you do go to the blog.
I know he said like it's all gonna like culminate in a Justice League movie.
Yeah, so he made it vague enough in their blog spot where they go and talk about it more. Is where they had a question where I guess a fan said, "Is there going to be like a crossover with Justice League?" And he goes, "Well, we are going to make this universe to where characters will meet the other characters in other projects. So essentially, yeah, but you're just gonna have to wait to see what we have planned."
Let's see how damaged the brand is before we say yes to Justice League.
Well, at this point, it's just saying hopefully Reverse Flash can fix everything with Flashpoint.
True. So I guess that's another piece we can quickly tack it on here. So we know that like Batman 2 or Batman Part 2, Joker, and a couple other things that they develop will be Elseworlds stories. And then they're just kind of going to continue this route of they said they're going to make sure when you see something, you know if it's Elseworld or if it's DC Universe, which again, you got to do that because it's smart. It's kind of like the Sony versus Marvel Studios branding. You know which logo means what, and people are not falling for it anymore, So
yeah. They saw it in Morbius and just went, nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Like with this whole like Slate, what I don't like is this I can't even say it. It's just this
pessimistic.
Pessimistic outlook to this Slate. It's actually pretty interesting, but people don't want that. They want the heavy hitters automatically. And from what the synopsis from all this is like, this is too Marvel. I'm like, it's comic books, man.
Yeah.
Pick up an issue, you'll see some weird stuff in there. But yeah,
I can understand the criticism of that. I don't necessarily think it's inherently a negative, right?
Well,
you can look at this entire slate and go, right, cool. Well, the Themyscira, even though he called it Themyscira, whatever the hell he said, and I was like, that's not how you pronounce that. What's going on?
He was on the spot, man.
He's like, this is our Game of Thrones. It's like, right, cool. Well, you got your Game of Thrones. Here's the authority, right? Cool. You got your boys. You're capitalizing on that side of the market. You can see where they're all coming from with everything they've announced, which is fair enough. It's smart. You don't want everything just to be the exact same, right? But at the same time, it's let's see how this one works, how this side works, and if this is popular, well, then push that out further. If this one's not, then I guess it stays where it is.
Mm-hmm.
And like you do it, like it seems to be like they're doing things that way, but
it's just because for me, I've been seeing it's like more negative connotations with this because they wanted to be different. I was like, and you did have different, and it was horrible.
Yeah.
You had a Superman that didn't inspire hope, and that's been basically telling you that do your own thing, don't be a better person. Who cares about what other people think? Just do you. If you want to be selfish, go ahead. No one owes you anything. And then to the people who said he was going to be the idealistic Superman eventually, after everything,
after the 5-movie plan where everything was going to end and you'd never see it, that's when he would be.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, it wasn't going to be Justice League 2 because we know the second part of Justice League was going to be Nightmare Superman, so it was going to be even worse.
Yeah, and then like with this, and then with Superman Legacy, where we actually have some semblance of an idealistic Superman, where he embodies be a better person every single day, and that he's still trying to find his way in the world, but the problem is that from his, I guess, small neighborhood ideals, the larger world is pretty pessimistic about those ideals in the modern world, and where they shouldn't fit in because you should be looking out for yourself instead of your neighbor. That is more interesting than what we got with Superman and Batman versus Superman.
So especially right now, right? Ironically, the people complaining about that direction the most are the people that need this movie the most.
Well, you also bring that up, and it's like, you look at the Elseworld tales, you're still going to get something. If you want your dark, gritty thing, you're going to have Joker too. Like, that's,
I forgot about that.
So, like,
I wouldn't give that movie to my worst enemy. That's
Here's your society piece, whatever. Okay, like
pretty certain that the Geneva Convention will ban that thing. This is worse than torture. What are you doing? Enough.
So I guess that's kind of it for the whole sum up of everything DC. I mean, exciting times ahead. Like they got a plan. They're gonna hopefully be able to pull most of this off. I mean, there's still some doubts. People are like, "Oh, multiple of these projects will get canceled." Some of them could, realistically, that could happen. So
yeah,
at
the same time, who cares at this point, right? Because that's no different to what we've had before.
Exactly. Like, look at the original Slate reveal for the DCU. Like, half of it never came out. So,
it was more than half.
Yeah,
I'd say I'm in a weird spot with this. I'm excited to see how everything turns out, and I like the slate. I can't sit here and be like, yeah, I'm hyped, because it's like we don't know directors, we don't know writers,
we know one director,
we don't know actors. I know they're saving it for Comic-Con, but I need something.
Yeah, we know one director. That's it.
I mean, look, I kind
of.
Do
we? All right, fair enough. We know at least one writer because of
James Gunn, yeah. And like, I do want to mention this kind of like, I've seen some people say, well, I'm not excited because there's nothing to be excited about. It's true because they couldn't even reveal logos. Like,
no,
we should have at least had
which is
logo.
weird to say, right? It's like, why couldn't you give me a logo? And everyone complains about Marvel logos at Comic-Con.
Well, potentially, I'm just going over this. Potentially, it's two. With Superman Legacy, their hopeful Gunn would want to direct that one, and the other one is James Mangold still in talks with to direct Swamp Thing. Yeah. So hopefully,
the Mangold thing we only found out after the fact because he tweeted that picture of Swamp Thing, but it wasn't part of the slate reveal,
right?
Which like I assume Mangold will end up getting it. But he's clearly not signed on just yet, or if he has, he's done.
They're still waiting for things to be final at this point.
Yeah. It just felt like, obviously I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, we should have came out and given us more, but it's just going, we're making a movie based on this, cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It's like I'm hopeful. I'm going to wait until Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Yep.
To start getting excited about everything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm satisfied with this. It's fine. It's 10, projects compared to what we had. What was it? The last technically 10 years, where it's like first time we got like 20 projects, and then the next time we had another 15 new projects because half of them or like 80% of them were thrown out into the trash because they went nowhere.
Excited for Blackhawks? We're developing
I was just waiting for Tristan to finish to bring that up. I was like, no one's gonna remember Blackhawks, and Matt came.
I specifically wrote that on my notes. It literally says mention Blackhawks.
Steven Spielberg's Blackhawks, like yeah.
I don't know. Like, here's the thing: remain optimistic, everybody. Because if this one doesn't succeed, if this thing falls through, I mean, that's the end, right?
That's it.
That's it. So, like,
I'm looking at the slate here, and half stuff didn't come out. Like, Man of Steel 2. Let's see, the Flash is coming out finally.
Unfortunately,
so Batgirl's gone. Birds of Prey got retitled to Harley Quinn for some reason.
I think the writer or director of that movie is still attached to like the actual DC studio. They're still working with her or something.
Yeah. The Sandman TV series came out. I'm glad it came out.
It's fantastic.
Green Lantern Corps that's gone or got reworked into what we have now. Lanterns.
They say that was a movie, that was a TV show, that was another TV show, and now it's another TV show. In fact, it's had a trilogy of shows and it hasn't even come out yet.
Yeah, it's really, really weird. Oh, I found something else. They had two other untitled DC films that we potentially don't know about. Those ones were scheduled for 2018 and 2019.
It's probably Justice League stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, and everyone's favorite in 2020, Cyborg.
Oh,
yep. Well,
poor Ray Fisher.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where comics are they can say the word because they're not afraid to say it. So, especially if people know.
Don't say the B word, Tristan.
If everyone knows what I'm talking about, it's with this week's Black History Month anthology series for DC. Go read that; it's pretty good, and they also have a cyborg story in there. That whole story is about that word.
oh,
Oh,
that's
damn.
cool. That's cool. Well, there we go, everybody. So that's kind of a sum up of everything and some of our thoughts on the slate. And
It's nice it wasn't a safe slate. I appreciate that.
same.
Because the authority, I stood there. I sat there staring at the authority, like blurb in the article, for about a good 10 minutes, making sure that I'm reading it right.
Yeah.
It's not safe because of what the title is, Gods and Monsters. And you know, have your first phase.
They ain't doing that story. There's no way.
No, I'm just saying that's what the slate's called, Gods and Monsters.
That's true. Yeah.
So it's like they're not going to be. It's not safe if your first phase one is titled Gods and Monsters. They're not going to be safe.
Uh-huh.
It'd be something like Heroes or something, or Heroes Reborn or something like that. That's
Oh no. They could have just gone the New 52.
No,
They didn't. No.
No, if they did that, if they went that route, they just call it the DCU. If anyone remembers that,
I'll say they're only 2 letters away from that. Like, they were
True.
close.
If anyone remembers that imprint, it was,
we try not to, Tristan. We try not to. That
The
money
continuity
and
is what you make it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we sound like a 90s advert. Yeah.
Oh, well, everybody, hopefully you enjoyed the show. We, of course, will be back next week. There's, of course, going to be Marvel. We're going to get back to doing the rundown of the second look back on, what we had in Phase 4. Because
If we record next week.
That's true, because, it could be,
The way we're going right now.
Well, when
it's
we
crumbling
return,
apart.
when we return. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Hopefully you guys are having a good weekend. And we will all catch you next week, probably, maybe, or go bonus topic in the member section. There you go. That's where you can find more. Later, everyone.